Take a moment to simply be here, right here, in this space you have carved out for yourself. There is nowhere else you need to be. There is nothing else you need to solve or fix or answer. The day is done. The noise of the world has faded into a distant hum, leaving only the quiet, immediate space around you. Let your shoulders drop, away from your ears. Feel the weight of your head sinking comfortably into your pillow. Unclench your jaw. Let your tongue rest gently on the floor of your mouth, soft and wide. Breathe in slowly, filling your chest with a cool, calming air. And breathe out, releasing every ounce of tension in a long, slow sigh. Again, breathe in, imagining a wave of relaxation washing over you, and breathe out, letting that wave carry away the debris of the day. Imagine for a moment that you are wrapped in the thickest, warmest blanket. Outside, there is a cold wind, perhaps a winter storm, but it cannot touch you. You are safe. You are warm. You are sheltered. The contrast between the cold outside and the warmth inside only makes your bed feel softer, heavier, more inviting. You are drifting, floating, ready to be carried away by the currents of time. Our story today sets sail at the edge of the known world, upon the gray-blue expanse of the North Sea over 1,000 years ago. Picture the sea, vast and rhythmic. It is not a violent sea tonight, but a breathing one. The water rises and falls in a slow, hypnotic cadence, in and out, rise and fall. We find ourselves on the deck of a longship, a drakkar, but the sails are furled, the oars are stowed. It is twilight, that magical violet hour where the sky meets the water in a seamless blur of indigo and gray. The air is crisp, biting with the scent of salt and ancient ice, yet there is a deep, pervading sense of calm aboard this vessel. The wood of the ship creates a sound that is the heartbeat of this story. Listen to it. The creaking of old, seasoned oak. Creak. Shh. The hull presses against the water, and the water presses back, cradling the ship like a child in a wooden cradle. This is not a ship of war tonight. It is a floating home, a capsule of survival drifting under the first emerging stars of the winter sky. The Vikings, often remembered for their fury, were also masters of survival and masters of rest. For to survive the harsh, freezing winters at sea, one had to know how to sleep. Sleep was not just a luxury, it was the fuel for the fire of life. Imagine you are walking softly along the deck. The wood is smooth beneath your feet, polished by years of salt spray and purposeful footsteps. You run your hand along the gunwale, the upper edge of the ship's side. The wood is cool to the touch, damp with the evening mist. It feels solid, unshakable. As the light fades, the temperature drops. The wind begins to whisper across the open water, a low whistling tune that passes over the rigging. But the sailors are prepared. They are beginning the nightly ritual of transforming this open deck into a sanctuary. Watch them now, moving with slow, practiced efficiency. There is no shouting, no hurried movements, only the quiet shuffle of wool and leather and the soft thuds of heavy fabric being unrolled. They are setting up the cheld. The cheld is their shelter, their roof against the winter sky. It is a massive tent, a long A-framed structure that spans the width of the ship. Imagine thick, heavy wool, tightly woven, treated with animal fats and oils to make it waterproof. It is heavy, substantial. They raise the wooden frames, crutches that slot perfectly into the deck. Thud, thud. Then the ridgepole is laid across, and finally the great woolen canopy is draped over the top. Hear the sound of the heavy fabric settling. Whomp, shh. It ripples once in the wind, then pulls taut as it is tied down with leather straps. Suddenly, the open, exposed deck is gone. In its place is a long, triangular tunnel of warmth. You step inside this tented world. The wind outside is instantly muffled, reduced to a gentle drumming against the taut wool. Inside, the air is still. The smell is earthy and rich, the scent of lanolin from the wool, the musk of cured leather, the resin of the pine tar used to seal the ship, and the faint, comforting scent of wood smoke from the portable iron cauldrons. It is darker in here, a cozy amber darkness. Small oil lamps flicker, burning seal oil or tallow, casting dancing shadows against the sloping canvas walls. The light is soft, golden and sleepy. You look down at the deck. The floorboards are loose, removable panels, and beneath them lies the ballast, stones and supplies that keep the ship stable. But here, on the surface, the sailors are preparing their beds. They did not sleep on the hard wood. That would draw the heat from their bodies. No, they understood insulation. Watch as they lay down the first layer. Spruce boughs. Imagine the scent as they are laid out, the fresh, sharp green scent of pine needles released as they are pressed down. It smells like a deep forest after rain. This layer lifts them off the damp wood, creating a cushion of air and nature. It is springy. It absorbs the shocks of the sea. Over the branches, they spread heavy rugs made of sheepskin. The fleece is thick, curly, and incredibly soft. Imagine running your fingers through that deep, natural wool. It retains heat like nothing else. Your fingers sink inches deep into the softness. But the true secret to their winter sleep lies in the hutfat. This is their sleeping bag, a sleeping bag from 1,000 years ago. It is made of skin, cowhide or sealskin, strong and impermeable to the wind. Inside, it is lined with the softest furs, rabbit, fox, or thick winter sheepskin. It is large enough for 2 men to share, allowing them to borrow each other's warmth, or spacious enough for 1 man to wrap himself entirely like a chrysalis. Visualize the texture of the leather. It is worn, supple, bending easily as it is unrolled. It has the weight of quality, of protection. The sailors begin to settle in. They remove their outer cloaks, shaking off the droplets of sea mist. They keep their woolen tunics on, dry and warm against their skin. The wool is not scratchy. It is worn soft by use, familiar and comforting. One by one, they crawl into the hutfat. The sound of rustling leather and settling bodies fills the tent. It is a comforting sound, the sound of a pack settling down for the night. Rustle, shift, sigh. The ship rocks gently, left and right, left and right. The rhythm is slow, much slower than your breathing. It is the rhythm of the ocean itself rocking the ship to sleep. You find your own space near the center of the ship, near the warmth of the small, contained firebox, the eld fotur. The embers are glowing a deep, hypnotic red. The heat radiates outward, touching your cheeks, warming your hands. You sit on the pile of sheepskins. They are impossibly soft. You sink into them. Outside the tent, the winter sea hisses as it glides past the hull. Hiss. Shh. The sound is white noise, a constant static lullaby that blocks out all other thoughts.
The wind picks up slightly, tugging at the tield. You see the fabric roof bulge inward slightly, then relax. It holds. It always holds. The tension in the fabric creates a low drumming vibration. It feels archaic, primal. To be this close to the elements, separated only by a layer of wool and wood, yet to be completely safe. It triggers a deep ancestral memory of the cave, of the burrow. The feeling that the storm is out there, and you are in here, and nothing can harm you. The ship groans softly as it crests a long, low swell. The timbers rub together. It is not a sound of breaking, but of flexibility. The ship breathes with the ocean. It flexes and relaxes, just as your muscles are doing now. Scan your body. Are your legs heavy? Let them sink into the imaginary sheepskins. Is your back supported? Feel the gentle sway of the ship easing the tension in your spine. Let your shoulders remember the work of the oars from earlier in the day, the heavy pull. And now realize that the work is done. The oar is stowed. The muscle can release. The sailors around you are quiet now. The low murmur of conversation has died away, replaced by the rhythmic breathing of sleeping men. Deep, slow breaths. Occasionally, someone shifts, the leather of their sleeping bag creaking softly. It is a reminder that you are not alone. You are part of a crew, a brotherhood of the sea, guarded by the watchman who sits silently at the prow, eyes scanning the horizon so you don't have to. You can let go. The watch is set. The course is true. The sea anchor drags deep in the water to keep the bow into the wind. The ship is stable. Imagine the temperature outside. It is freezing. If you were to step out, your breath would plume in white clouds before you. Frost is forming on the ropes, turning them into glittering silver lines under the starlight. The sea spray freezes on the dragon's head at the prow, giving it a coat of diamond armor.
But here, under the heavy wall of the tent, it is warm. The heat from 30 men, the heat from the small embers of the fire, the heat trapped by the layers of fur, it creates a microclimate of comfort. You pull the edge of the leather sleeping bag up. It is heavy, weighing down on your chest, a comforting pressure. It feels like a weighted blanket, grounding you, pressing you down into sleep. The smell of the sea is still there, faint and salty, mixing with the warm wool. It clears your sinuses, opening your airways for deep, restorative breathing. Breathe in the salt, breathe out the day. Breathe in the warmth, breathe out the cold. Let's drift deeper into the details of the night. The Viking sailor did not just sleep, he surrendered to the movement of the ship. On land, the ground is static, unyielding, but at sea, the bed moves, it adjusts to you. As you lie there, imagine the floor tilting ever so slightly down towards your feet, then leveling, then tilting slightly up. It is a rocking motion that mimics the time before you were born, the rocking of the cradle. Your inner ear synchronizes with this motion. It becomes a trance. Rock and return. Rock and return. Sometimes rain begins to fall. In the winter, it is sleet, heavy and wet. Listen to it hitting the heavy woolen tent above your head. Tap, 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 tap. It is not a sharp sound, but a dull thudding, absorbed by the thick, oily fibers of the wool. It sounds like fingers drumming gently on a table. It is the sound of nature trying to get in and failing. Every drop that hits the roof and slides harmlessly down the side of the tent confirms your safety. You are dry. You are insulated. Imagine the texture of the wool against your cheek. It is coarse, but in a way that feels real and organic. It is not the synthetic smoothness of modern fabric. It has grain. It has life.
It warms to your skin temperature almost instantly. The darkness inside the tent deepens as the oil lamps burn low and are eventually extinguished. Now there is only the faint gray light filtering through the weave of the fabric from the moon outside, or perhaps the faint green glow of the northern lights dancing above the clouds, filtering a ghostly, peaceful luminescence through the canvas. In this semi-darkness, the sounds become clearer, the water rushing past the keel. Whoosh, whoosh. The sound of the rudder groaning slightly in its leather strapping. Creak, settle. The Vikings believed that sleep was a journey of the soul. As the body rested, the spirit could travel. Lying here in the belly of the wooden dragon, you feel that potential for travel. Not across miles, but across the landscape of dreams. Your eyelids are so heavy now, they feel as though small, warm stones have been placed upon them. To open them would require effort you simply do not wish to expend. You are sinking deeper into the Hudfat. The furs line every inch of your body, holding you in a suspended embrace. Your feet are warm, your hands are warm. The core of your body is glowing with a steady, preserved heat. Let us think about the history of this wood. The oak tree that made this plank beneath you, it stood in a forest for 100 years before it ever saw the sea. It knew the winter snows of the forest. It knew the silence of the deep woods. Now it carries that silence into the ocean. You are resting on the strength of the forest. The ship is a living thing. It breathes. It talks in creaks and groans. It protects. And as the night wears on, the sea calms even further. The winter winds often die down in the deepest hours of the night before the dawn. The rocking becomes gentler. The sounds become softer. Everything is slowing down. The universe has shrunk to this: the warmth of the fur, the smell of the wood, the rhythm of the water. You are safe in the longship. You are safe in the winter night. Allow your mind to drift away from the ship for a moment, floating up through the wool tent, up into the cool night air. Imagine you are a bird, a raven, gliding silently over the scene. You see the ship below, a small, dark shape on the vast silver water. You see the faint glow of heat escaping the tent. It looks peaceful, solitary.
The ocean stretches out in all directions, a mirror for the stars. The Milky Way is a band of diamond dust spilled across the black velvet sky. The aurora borealis begins to shimmer, curtains of silent green and violet light waving slowly across the heavens. They move like spirits, slow and majestic, making no sound. The air up here is silent, crisp and pure, but it is too cold up here. You glide back down, 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 through the fabric, back into the warmth, back into your body. It feels even better to return to the warmth after imagining the cold. Settle in. Dig your shoulders down a little deeper. Wiggle your toes in the soft fur. We are only at the beginning of the night. The hours stretch out before you, a long, unbroken road of rest. There is no morning alarm here. There is only the sun, and it is hours and hours away. Let us listen closer to the ship itself. The Viking longship is not a rigid, dead thing. It is a masterpiece of flexibility. It is built to move with the water, not against it. As you lie there, wrapped in your furs, listen to the water playing against the hull. The ship is clinker built. This means the planks overlap one over the other, like the scales of a fish. This design does something special with the sound of the water. It catches the waves.
Because of the overlapping wood, the water doesn't just slide past, it sings against the ridges of the planks. It creates a bubbly, effervescent sound right next to your ear. It is the sound of being cradled. It is the sound of being held by the ocean. Imagine that sound vibrating gently through the wood, traveling up through the ribs of the ship, through the spruce boughs, through the sheepskins, and humming softly into your body. It is a massage of sound. The vibration loosens the muscles in your lower back. It unties the knots in your shoulders. It feels as though the ship is absorbing your heaviness. The wood is strong enough to carry your burdens. You don't need to hold on to them anymore. Let the oak carry the weight. Shift your attention to the air inside the tent. It is thick and still. The scent of the wood smoke has settled low, a grounding, earthy aroma. It smells of home. It smells of safety. Now, visualize the prow of the ship, outside in the cold night air. There is a figure there, the night watchman. He is wrapped in 3 layers of wool. He wears a hood trimmed with wolf fur that catches the frost. He is not sleeping. He is awake so that you can sleep. He stands near the carved dragon head, his hand resting on the icy wood. He is watching the horizon. He is watching the stars. He is listening to the wind. He is your guardian. Knowing he is there allows your mind to completely switch off. You do not need to be alert. You do not need to listen for danger. The watchman has the night. You have the rest. Imagine his view for a moment. The moon has risen higher now, casting a pale silver path across the black water. The sea is calm, breathing in long, slow swells. The horizon is a blur of mist and starlight. It is a world of absolute solitude, absolute peace. He looks back at the tent, the cheld, where you and the crew are sleeping. He sees the gentle rise and fall of the canvas roof, mimicking the breathing of the men inside. He sees a wisp of smoke curling up from the vent. He nods to himself. All is well. Back inside the warmth, you turn over slowly. The leather sleeping bag slides against the furs. It is a cozy, shuffling sound. Schwa. You find a cooler patch of the pillow, perhaps a bundled-up woolen cloak. It feels refreshing against your cheek. You burrow deeper. Let's count the swells of the sea together. This is the ancient method of the sailor to find sleep, not counting sheep, but counting the rhythm of the world. Wait for the ship to rise. 1, and settle. Wait for the rise. 2, and settle. The movement is so subtle, it's like breathing. The ship inhales as it goes up, exhales as it goes down. 3. You are becoming heavier. Your eyelids are sealed shut, not by force, but by a comfortable glue of sleepiness. 4. Your arms are limp at your sides.
The Vikings knew that winter was a time for dormancy. In the summer, the sun barely set, and life was a rush of activity, raiding, farming, sailing. But winter, the long, dark winter, this was the time given by the gods for restoration. They did not fight the darkness, they embraced it. They understood that to be strong in the summer, one must be deep in the winter. Think of yourself as a bear in hibernation. You are retreating into your cave. The world outside can freeze and howl, but in your cave, life slows down. Your heartbeat slows down. Thump, thump, thump. Your breathing becomes shallow and efficient. You are preserving energy. You are healing. Listen to the creaking of the rigging again. The ropes are made of walrus hide or hemp. When they stretch, they make a low, groaning sound. Earn. It sounds like an old door opening in a library. It is a familiar, woody sound. It reminds you that the ship is held together by tension and strength. Everything is tied down. Nothing is loose. You are secure. Imagine the layers above you again. The sky, infinite and cold. The tent, thick, oily wool repelling the damp. The air inside, warm and amber-colored. The blanket, heavy leather and fur. Your clothes, soft, worn wool. Your skin, warm and relaxed. You are at the center of these layers, like a pearl in an oyster, protected, hidden. Sometimes a wave splashes a little higher, slapping the side of the hull with a wetter, heavier sound. Sploosh. It is a reminder of the barrier between you and the deep. The wood holds. The water falls back. You are dry. Let your mind wander to the supplies stored beneath the deck. Barrels of dried fish, casks of ale, chests of silver and iron. The ship is heavy with provisions. You have everything you need. There is no lack. There is no hunger. There is only abundance and rest. The motion of the ship changes slightly as the current shifts. It becomes a gentle rolling motion, side to side, rock, roll, rock, roll. It eases the tension in your hips. It relaxes your thighs. Your legs feel like liquid, heavy and warm. If you listen very closely, underneath the sound of the water and the wind, you might hear the faint sound of the ocean floor, deep, deep below, a hum of the earth itself. The Vikings believed the roots of the world tree, Yggdrasil, stretched down into the deep waters. You are floating above the roots of the world. You are connected to everything. The darkness behind your eyes is velvety and rich. It is not empty darkness. It is filled with potential dreams. Imagine a dream forming now, a dream of a warm hall, a fire roaring in the center, snapping and chirping with cheerful energy. But you are not standing by the fire. You are watching it from a pile of furs in the corner. You are so comfortable. The firelight flickers orange and yellow against your closed eyelids. Warmth, orange light, crackling wood, soft fur. Drift towards that fire. Let the image of the ship fade slightly, replaced by this inner sanctuary of the mind. But the rocking continues. The rocking never stops. It is the heartbeat of your sleep. The sailor next to you breathes out a long, shuddering sigh in his sleep. It triggers your own sigh. You let go of the last bit of air in your lungs, pushing out the last bit of stress. Release. You are sinking through the floorboards now, not physically, but in your mind. Sinking down past the ballast stones, sinking into the cool, dark water. But you can breathe underwater. It is slow and thick and silent. Down here, there is no wind, there is no rocking, just suspension, floating in the void of perfect rest. But let us return to the ship. It is better to be warm. Feel the heat of your own body reflecting back at you from the sleeping bag. You have created a furnace of comfort. Your toes, which might have been cool earlier, are now toasty. A tingling sensation of warmth spreads up your calves, over your knees, into your thighs. Your hands are warm. Your palms are open. Your face is relaxed.
The space between your eyebrows is smooth. Your forehead is cool, kissed by the faint draft of fresh air that sneaks in. But your body is hot. The contrast is delicious.
The chelled tent above you is your sky for tonight. A woolen sky. It protects you from the infinity of the real sky. It keeps you contained. You are small. You are hidden. You are safe. Sleep is coming for you now. It is coming like a slow tide, rising up your legs, up your torso, up to your neck. It is a tide of heavy, warm honey. Drift deeper now. Let the image of the ship fade into a feeling. You are no longer looking at the ship. You are becoming part of it. You are part of the ballast, heavy and settled. You are part of the timber, strong and flexible. Focus on the scent that surrounds you. It is a very specific, ancient smell. It is the smell of Stockholm tar, the pine tar used to seal the wood of the longship. It is a dark, resinous scent, smoky, sweet, thick. Breathe it in. Inhale the essence of the pine forest. Exhale deeper into the mattress of firs. This scent is the scent of preservation. Just as the tar protects the wood from the rot of the sea, this sleep protects your mind from the wear of the world. You are being preserved. You are being restored. Listen to the specific sounds of the rigging again. Above you, the mast stands like a solitary tree trunk. The yardarm is lowered, resting on the crutches. The ropes that hold it all together are under gentle tension. Sometimes the wind shifts and the ropes hum, a low vibrational frequency. Hum. It is the ship singing a lullaby to itself. In the distance, not far, just at the other end of the ship, there is movement, gentle, purposeful. It is the changing of the watch. You do not need to open your eyes. In fact, keeping them closed allows you to see it better with your other senses. You hear the soft scuff of leather boots on the wooden deck outside the tent. Scuff, scuff. You hear a low murmur of voices. The night watchman is greeting the relief. All is well, the wind seems to whisper. The sea is calm. The stars are bright. There is a shuffling of heavy cloaks, the warmth of a body leaving the rail, the warmth of a fresh body taking its place. The safety of the ship is being passed from hand to hand, an unbroken chain of guardianship. Because they are awake, you can sleep. Because they are standing in the cold, you can remain in the warmth. Feel a wave of gratitude wash over you. It feels like warm water pouring over your chest. You are cared for. You are watched over. The footsteps fade away. Silence returns, a deeper silence than before. The second watch is always quieter. The night has settled into its deepest groove. Now, bring your attention to your hands. They are resting by your sides, or perhaps on your chest. Imagine they are wearing heavy woolen mittens, not scratchy, but soft, lined with rabbit fur. Your hands feel large, heavy, and incredibly warm. You couldn't make a fist if you tried. Your fingers are too relaxed. They are like sleeping flowers, open and loose. Let that sensation of mittens travel up your arms, heavy, warm, protected.
Your body is a landscape of peace. Let us return to the motion of the water. The Vikings called the sea the whale road. Imagine that grand poetic name. You are traveling the whale road. Below you, in the deep ink-black water, giants are swimming slowly, whales gliding in the darkness, their hearts beating once every minute. Sync your heart with the whale. Beat, beat. Slow, powerful, deliberate. There is no rush on the ocean. The ocean has all the time in the world, and tonight so do you. As you lie there, the ship rolls gently to the starboard side. You feel the gravity pull you slightly to the right, pressing you deeper into the furs. Then it gently corrects, rocking you back to the center. Right and center. Right and center. It is a cradle motion. It triggers the oldest memory in your brain, the memory of being carried. You are floating in a wooden shell, carried by the Mother Ocean. Visualize the wood of the hull right next to your head. It is oak, dense, slow-growing oak. Run your mind's eye along the grain of the tree. See the knots, the swirls, the history of the tree. This wood is insulating you from the freezing water just inches away. The water outside is 0 degrees. The air inside your sleeping bag is 30 degrees. That boundary, that thin line between the freezing cold and the cozy warmth, is where the magic of sleep happens. You are conscious of the cold enough to enjoy the warmth. It is like listening to a storm while sitting by a fire. The danger makes the safety sweeter.
The water slapping the overlapping planks, slap wash, slap wash. It's a rhythmic scrubbing sound, scrubbing away the stress, scrubbing away the tension, scrubbing away the thoughts of tomorrow. There is no tomorrow. There is only this long, stretching night. The Vikings navigated by the stars. Even though you are inside the tent, imagine the stars above you. The North Star, Polaris, hanging steady and bright directly above the mast. It is the nail of the sky, the one point that does not move. Fix your mind on that stillness. Be like the North Star, unmoving, constant. Around it the other stars circle slowly, a great celestial wheel turning through the night. Let your thoughts turn with them, slow and distant. They are just lights, tiny, beautiful lights that do not ask anything of you. Your breathing is now so quiet you can barely hear it yourself. In, out. You are entering the state the Vikings called draumr, the dream state. Here, the boundaries of the ship begin to dissolve. You are floating on a cloud of sheepskin. The rocking is no longer the sea, but the gentle rotation of the earth itself. You feel a heaviness in your legs that is absolute. If you wanted to lift your leg now, it would weigh 1,000 pounds. It is anchored to the deck, anchored to sleep. Let's go deeper into the hoodfot, the sleeping bag. Imagine the craftsmanship, the stitches that hold the leather together, sewn with care by someone back home, someone who wanted this sailor to be warm. Every stitch is a thought of love. Every stitch is a wish for safety. You are wrapped in intentions of safety. The darkness is soft and velvety. It presses against your eyes, not as a void, but as a blanket.
a weighted blanket for your vision, darkness, peace, silence. Occasionally the ship murmurs, a timber adjusting to the temperature change. Talk. It's a friendly sound, like a house settling at night. It says, I am here, I am holding. The cold winter air tries to find a way in. It probes the edges of the tent. It finds a tiny gap and sends a thin, cool stream of air inside. But it doesn't reach you. It only freshens the air, making the warmth of your cocoon feel even better. You feel that tiny draft on the tip of your nose, cold. You feel the heat of the fur on your neck, hot. Cold nose, warm body, perfect balance. You are a Viking at rest, a warrior who has laid down his shield, a traveler who has stopped moving. There is nothing to fight here. The sea is not an enemy tonight. It is a bedding. Allow your mind to travel back to the shore for a fleeting moment. Imagine a snowy shoreline in Norway, tall black mountains rising straight out of the sea, snow covering the peaks, glowing blue in the moonlight. The silence of a snowy landscape. You know that silence, the way snow absorbs sound, the way the world goes mute after a snowfall. Bring that snowy silence onto the ship. Pack it around your thoughts, pack it around your worries, freeze them, silence them. Now there is only the sound of the water. Lull, hush, lull, hush. You are drifting towards the center of the night, the deepest point, the point of zero resistance. Your jaw is loose, your tongue is soft, the back of your neck is long and relaxed. The tension in your forehead has melted away like ice in the sun. You are liquid, you are water, you are the sea. The night has now stretched into its vast middle hours. This is the time the Vikings called Nachtmahl, the night meal, but here it is a meal of silence, a feast of rest. The ship has found a rhythm that is almost imperceptible. It is no longer rocking, it is hovering, hovering on the surface of the deep. Listen to the wind outside the heavy wool tent. It has changed its tune. Earlier it was a whistle. Now it is a hum, a low, continuous vibration that wraps around the ship. It is the sound of the planet turning. Inside your cocoon, the air has become perfectly still. The heat you have generated is trapped, swirling slowly around you.
Let your mind travel up, through the wool, through the dark, to the sky above. The Norsemen looked up and saw the Vetbrot, the winter street. You know it as the Milky Way, a spilled path of milk and light across the obsidian sky. Imagine you can see it through the roof of the tent, a river of white light flowing parallel to the dark water below. You are floating between two rivers, the river of stars above, the river of ocean below. You are suspended in the middle, weightless, timeless. Let that feeling of suspension take over your physical body. Feel your joints expanding. The spaces between your vertebrae are opening up, releasing the compression of the day. Your spine is lengthening, relaxing, uncoiling like a rope that has been untied. Lengthen and release. Your hips are heavy, sinking into the sheepskin. Your shoulders are melting away from your ears. There is a specific sound that happens on a wooden ship in the deepest cold of winter. Listen for it. Critique. It is the sound of a single iron nail freezing in the wood, a tiny, sharp sound. It reminds you of the cold, but it sounds distant, like a twig snapping in a forest far away. It emphasizes the silence that follows it. Silence. Silence. The silence on the ocean is different from the silence on land. On land, silence feels empty. On the ocean, silence feels full. It is heavy. It presses against your ears like soft cotton. You are wrapped in the hummingja, the luck and protection of the ship. The Vikings believed the ship had a spirit, a guardian nature. Tonight, that spirit is a mother bear. She is curled around you. She is the hull. She is the keel. She is the strake. You are the cub. You are hibernating. Drift your attention to your feet. They are so warm now. The warmth has penetrated deep into the bones. It feels as though your feet are glowing with a soft red light. Let that glow travel up, past the ankles, past the shins, into the knees. Every part of you that the light touches turns to sleep. Your knees unlock. Your thighs turn to stone, heavy, sinking stone. Your stomach unties its knots. The butterflies are gone. They are sleeping too. You are barely breathing now, just a shallow ebb and flow, like the tide in a sheltered fjord. In, very shallow. Out, very slow. Imagine the smell of the morning that is to come, hours and hours from now. The smell of coffee? No, not yet. The smell of flatbread warming on a stone. The smell of dried fish. Simple, hearty smells. But that is for later. That is for the sun. For now, there is only the moon. The moon is painting the waves with silver. If you were the watchman, you would see the whitecaps glowing in the dark. But you are not the watchman. You are the sleeper. Your job is to dream. Let's construct a dream together, a Viking dream of peace. Imagine a great hall. The walls are lined with shields, but they are resting. The fire in the center is a long trench fire burning down to a bed of glowing red coals. The heat is intense, radiating outward. You are lying on a bench covered in furs, close to the coals. You can feel the heat on your face. You can hear the logs settling. Crunch, hiss. A dog is sleeping on the floor near you, a large gray wolfhound. You hear its breathing. You see its paw twitching. It is chasing rabbits in its dreams. You are safe in the hall. The blizzard is outside, banging against the heavy wooden doors. Thump, thump. But the doors are barred with iron. The wind cannot get in. The cold cannot get in. The only thing in here is warmth, the smell of wood smoke, and the feeling of belonging. Hold that image, the glowing coals, the sleeping hound, the barred door. Now layer that image over your reality on the ship. The ship is the hall. The sea is the blizzard. The sleeping bag is the bench. The watchman is the barred door. You are doubly safe, protected by the ship in reality, protected by the hall in your mind. You are sinking deeper. The darkness behind your eyes is getting richer. It is turning purple, indigo, black. You feel a gentle tugging sensation. It is the anchor of sleep dragging along the bottom of your consciousness. It catches. It holds. You are moored. You are not going anywhere. The world can spin. The empires can rise and fall. The storms can rage. But you are anchored in this moment of perfect stillness.
The wooden planks beneath you vibrate with the energy of the ocean.
Let your mind travel up, through the wool, through the dark, to the sky above. The Norsemen looked up and saw the Veterbraut, the winter street. You know it as the Milky Way, a spilled path of milk and light across the obsidian sky. Imagine you can see it through the roof of the tent, a river of white light flowing parallel to the dark water below. You are floating between two rivers, the river of stars above, the river of ocean below. You are suspended in the middle, weightless, timeless. Let that feeling of suspension take over your physical body. Feel your joints expanding. The spaces between your vertebrae are opening up, releasing the compression of the day. Your spine is lengthening, relaxing, uncoiling like a rope that has been untied. Lengthen and release. Your hips are heavy, sinking into the sheepskin. Your shoulders are melting away from your ears. There is a specific sound that happens on a wooden ship in the deepest cold of winter. Listen for it. Ker-tick. It is the sound of a single iron nail freezing in the wood, a tiny, sharp sound. It reminds you of the cold, but it sounds distant, like a twig snapping in a forest far away. It emphasizes the silence that follows it. Silence. Silence. The silence on the ocean is different from the silence on land. On land, silence feels empty. On the ocean, silence feels full. It is heavy. It presses against your ears like soft cotton. You are wrapped in the haminga, the luck and protection of the ship. The Vikings believed the ship had a spirit, a guardian nature. Tonight, that spirit is a mother bear. She is curled around you. She is the hull. She is the keel. She is the strake. You are the cub. You are hibernating. Drift your attention to your feet. They are so warm now. The warmth has penetrated deep into the bones. It feels as though your feet are glowing with a soft red light. Let that glow travel up, past the ankles, past the shins, into the knees. Every part of you that the light touches turns to sleep. Your knees unlock, your thighs turn to stone, heavy, sinking stone. Your stomach unties its knots. The butterflies are gone. They are sleeping too. You are barely breathing now, just a shallow ebb and flow, like the tide in a sheltered fjord. In, very shallow. Out, very slow. Imagine the smell of the morning that is to come, hours and hours from now. The smell of coffee? No, not yet. The smell of flatbread warming on a stone. The smell of dried fish. Simple, hearty smells. But that is for later. That is for the sun. For now, there is only the moon. The moon is painting the waves with silver. If you were the watchman, you would see the whitecaps glowing in the dark. But you are not the watchman. You are the sleeper. Your job is to dream. Let's construct a dream together, a Viking dream of peace. Imagine a great hall. The walls are lined with shields, but they are resting. The fire in the center is a long trench fire, burning down to a bed of glowing red coals. The heat is intense, radiating outward. You are lying on a bench covered in furs, close to the coals. You can feel the heat on your face. You can hear the logs settling. Kurr, hiss.
A dog is sleeping on the floor near you, a large gray wolfhound. You hear its breathing, you see its paw twitching. It is chasing rabbits in its dreams. You are safe in the hall. The blizzard is outside, banging against the heavy wooden doors. Thump, thump. But the doors are barred with iron. The wind cannot get in. The cold cannot get in. The only thing in here is warmth, the smell of wood smoke, and the feeling of belonging. Hold that image, the glowing coals, the sleeping hound, the barred door. Now layer that image over your reality on the ship. The ship is the hall, the sea is the blizzard, the sleeping bag is the bench, the watchman is the barred door. You are doubly safe, protected by the ship in reality, protected by the hall in your mind.